Howdy, y'all. Welcome to True Lying Film Discussion. Because films lie to tell the truth, or some truth, or a truth. Ain't that something?
Good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, or good whatever, wherever you may be. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and I'm going to have a fireside chat with you and read from my latest article titled Eddington, the First Phone Western. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 33. You cannot even walk into a bar anymore to try and break up a ruckus without someone filming you. Henry Fonda, with cowboy boots and spurs, was able to walk into a bar in the beginning of My Darling Clementine and settle a dispute, probably with some fear of failure, but without the notion that any failure would potentially be recorded on the phones of youngsters. In Eddington, the First Phone Western, these devices of ours are everywhere. The mobile phone has been a problem for filmmakers for a variety of obvious reasons, not least of all because it has the potential to take away from the drama of a story. Some directors, like Park Chan-wook in Decision to Leave, have found a unique way to visually integrate the device and its functions. With Eddington, Ari Aster has accepted the challenge by making a film where the smartphone is a key component in all of the dramatic tension. I found Eddington extremely stressful to watch. Not just because it is a pressure cooker of all too recent history involving COVID, race tension, protest culture, and lawlessness, but also because it depicts our smartphone use in a way that is seriously disappointing on a species level. Laptops, Zoom meetings, and the general ping of digital notifications are also present, but it is the phone that is the most ubiquitous. In Eddington, the background noise of what should be a normal drive somewhere is consumed by the playing of content, and not some 5-hour recording of a relaxing whale song either, but loud, contentious stuff. There are moments where characters retreat into their phones, often to flee stress or dejection. Characters turn off videos they are playing when someone else enters a room, not out of courtesy, but because the content has become their private thinking being beamed back at them. These are vulnerable ties that exist between person and device, the twin of their inner life, a digital familiar. I recently read statistics showing that the global average of screen time for each individual is almost 7 hours per day. It is disturbing to see this behavior reflected back at us in a film. Our characters scroll themselves into states of content saturation and agitation. The last thing Sheriff Joe holds at night, and the first thing he holds in the morning, is not his wife, but his phone. We can see the same dependency in the other residents of the town, none of whom express any desire at any point for a period of abstinence from this extra appendage. Perhaps most importantly for a Western, Aster understands that the phone is also a weapon. Conflicts cannot be mediated in smartphone culture as they usually are in a Western. In another John Ford film, Rio Grande, traditional weapons are, rightly, tied up with concepts of manhood, but the choice of weapons is limited. When the colonel's son feels dishonored by an older man, they choose fists to resolve their issue, give each other a good drubbing, and are actually able to overcome their conflict as a result. But in the world of Eddington, it is difficult to bypass the tyranny of digital scandal, and with no socially acceptable opportunity for a duel, a fistfight, or a showdown, feelings of resentment and dishonor fester like sores. Phones appear on the edge of encounters when there is promise of drama that can be filmed for clicks. Characters hold up their phones like pistols to announce to an enemy, "I'm recording this." The phone is used for both sexual opportunism, the teenager quickly Googling Angela Davis to impress a girl, and Machiavellian one-upmanship, attempts at viral character assassination. Marshall McLuhan's oft-repeated quote that humans are the sex organs of machines is terrifying to imagine when we narrow the idea down to a content replicator like the modern phone. There are other, more amusing thought experiments like this. For example, what if cows are actually farming people and using our human labor to ensure their species is fed and constantly brought into existence? If we apply this idea of inverted control to the smartphone, a device that can only exist with content, then we can say it farms us for content in order to keep itself switched on and for more copies of itself to be made. In Eddington, it certainly does take on this aspect of almost sinister agency. As the people of Eddington use their devices as weapons of war, the massive data center being built on their land slips deviously into the background of the proceedings.